What's up, boozers?
Ciao.
God, that's so. Today we're gonna review The Witch.
And we have a guest star all the way from Palermo.
Peace.
He does not speak much English, so we have Biggs here to translate.
If you watch these films with us, and luckily with horror films, it's mostly based on what you see and jump scares and stuff like that. So even if the language is completely different, which for this film, it was also different for us. Because it's written in fantastic, intricately studied Middle English.
I felt strongly that the acting and the speech were remarkably natural.
They obviously put a lot of effort into the writing and the research of this movie.
It feels...
Does they think the language was well done?
Yay. I do feel that it is authentically archaic.
And the dad, for one. His accent is half Gerard Butler, half Clive Owen, all 100% boner.
Ralph Ineson, who
Tear
was in...
him apart.
So he was in Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Kingsman, Guardians of the Galaxy, and here's your surprise, IT Crowd. Can you guess what he was in the IT Crowd?
What was he in the IT Crowd?
The masseuse that kissed Roy's ass.
Oh my god!
If you have not seen IT Crowd, stop this right now, come back to it later. You need to go watch all the seasons of IT Crowd.
Every single one.
Now. It's on Netflix, so you're welcome. What does he want to say about it?
Hai qualcosa da dire da quel film?
Sì.
Cosa vuoi dire? He said, actually earlier he told me the same thing as us, is he thought the film was well done, but the story was severely lacking.
La lingua è bella.
The language is beautiful.
Particolare.
Particular.
La trama, dicevo, è bella come è impostato il film. Solo che lascia delle curiosità.
Leaves a lot of curiosity.
I wouldn't call it curiosity. I would call it frustration.
The entire film, from the 3 minutes in, they get banished from this village.
Colony. Their Puritan colony. I looked it up.
Okay, so whatever. Anyways, they get banished from this, and they never tell you why. And the entire film, no matter what happens, is the back of your head, and you just want to know why they got banished, and if it has anything to do with the rest of the film, because maybe then you could understand it. But they don't tell you.
They don't tell you. As far as you know, the father, Ralph Ineson, who plays William, thinks in his mind that the people around him in the colony are inferior Christians. That's the most you get out of it.
Alright, maybe it's my personal experience going to Catholic school for 15 years, but every Christian thinks that.
That still wouldn't get you banished from a colony. This is set in New England in the 1630s, which is before the Salem Witch.
150 years before the Salem Witch trials. They want to suggest that this is catalyst for what created the witches for the Salem Witch trials.
It's important to note this movie, no jump scares. Nothing remarkably scary about it.
No.
If you are going into it looking for a horror film like we were, you will be horrendously disappointed. It was still a decent movie.
It was very The Village. It was more of a thinking film.
It was, it definitely was.
They classified it on what we rented from as a mystery/horror.
I would just say it's a really sad movie.
It is really sad.
There's some gore in it. A little bit of blood, a little bit of gore. Not anything overwhelming. It was like someone had a key that just slowly twisted it through the film to wind the tension, basically. And that's all this film was tension building.
Vuoi dire qualcosa?
Sì, stavo dicendo poco fa.
I was saying a little bit ago.
Che la trama è bella del film.
The trauma that happens in the film is beautiful.
Anche tutta la storia, come
also the story.
Come si svolge. Solo che lascia delle curiosità questo film.
It leaves a lot of questions.
Cioè, la ragazza non si capisce se c'entra qualcosa fin dall'inizio, oppure fa finta di non sapere niente.
You wonder from the beginning if the girl that's mainly accused, knows something.
Her name is Thomasine.
Or whether she knows from the beginning or whether she's completely oblivious until the very end of it.
Solo che alla fine cioè, sembra tipo contenta di far parte di questo gruppo di...
Yeah, he's saying that it seems at the end that she's happy to leave this group of her family. But is that because, spoiler alert, she's just watched her father die after the rest of her siblings
had to murder her mother.
And had to murder her mother, which her mother is played by the chick who plays Lisa Arden.
Katie Dickey.
Anyways, if you've watched Game of Thrones, I don't think it's possible to watch anything with this chick in it where you don't hate her. I don't know if she's only done films with breastfeeding, and in this film, breastfeeding from a crow, it's freaking weird, but I'm sick of seeing her tits.
The initial synopsis is described as after dismissing those around him as false Christians in their colony, William and his family, wife Catherine, and 5 children are basically banished into the wilderness. They rebuild their lives in the wilderness. And one day their infant son, Samuel, he mysteriously vanishes and their crops begin to fail. After that, things start to go downhill for the family. We see in the film that there is a witch that lives close by in the woods and has taken their infant son. They're thinking that their family is cursed for one reason or another. This film is really revolving around deep-rooted Christian faith, and
they're all born in sin.
That
the baby boy Samuel was taken because he wasn't baptized, so
before they got banished, yeah.
Exactly.
Thomasine was sought after by Satan, or the devil, or whoever it is, for his coven, specifically because she was so pure and she was so virginal type thing, and she wanted to be good, but she believed herself to be a terrible person, and
like
she said
every
in the beginning,
teenage girl.
Right. She says in the beginning that she deserves a fiery torment after death or something along those lines. Puritanical beliefs of this family end up pinning her against the rest of the family, and she is oppressed and marginalized for being the age and gender she is. And so she starts to get confused and kind of wonder, like, is God really with me? What is the point of this? And then people start to go missing. People in her family start dying. And then in the end, she feels like she has nothing left.
Because the rest of her family is dead. And she's banished. So
she is banished.
What do you have left to give? May as well join Satan's cult. Been there, done that, best time of my life.
She was also the only child in the beginning to express herself in any kind of way. She expressed her distress about moving from England to the New World way back when, before anyone else, her siblings basically, remembered. She reminisced with her brother Caleb, who just basically went, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. She was talking about the finer things they had there.
Glass windows in England.
Look them up. They're real. She expresses her distress and her lack of understanding why they were banished, like us, and wants to voice her opinion on things, whereas her siblings were just like, whatever, you know, we're young, we don't care, we'll do whatever mom and dad says. And she's the one that's kind of...
She has a personality.
She's growing up. She's understanding about the world around her.
And then there's the freaking twins.
Oh my god.
From the very beginning...
We were all rooting for them to die.
We were not even remotely curious how they disappear at the end because we wanted them to be gone from the very beginning. They're weird and annoying and horrendous and don't listen. They're bad children.
And they pin Thomasine's mother, their mother, against Thomasine by saying that she's a witch. Her father ends up not standing up for her at one point where the mother thinks that Thomasine has stolen a silver cup. In fact, William ended up selling it in an attempt to get the family more food because they weren't going to make it through the winter. And she's starting to realize that her family's, you know, a whole bunch of assholes, basically.
Black Phillip is a goat.
And he's black.
And there's this whole thing going on where until, I don't know, 5 minutes to the end?
Yeah.
3 minutes maybe. You don't know whether, alright, the twins are talking to Black Phillip and singing about Black Phillip for the entire movie. And the entire time you want to murder them both.
Really freaky fucking chance that they sing to Black Phillip all the time. Are you feeling gay?
È stato bello, però... Non ho capito bene il fatto perché pensavano tutti che era lei, Thomasin, coinvolta in questa situazione.
It's a really good film, but he could never understand why they all thought it was Thomasin that was responsible.
I could see them getting confused and...
That's,
confuso.
I don't know if that's something part of English and American culture where the young virgin is always accused. Maybe that's part of, being an Italian, he should be familiar with Christianity, blaming the virgins for everything, but I know.
Ti lascia molto confuso perché ti...
And then there's the end.
Inizialmente pensi che lei c'entra qualcosa in tutta questa situazione, però in realtà lei non ne sa niente di tutto.
Yeah, at the beginning you think that somehow this girl knows something about everything, but at the end you realize that she's completely clueless.
See, I had the opposite reaction. I thought at the beginning, obviously, she was clearly innocent. And then as it went on, you're like, well, is she really? Or is she the creepy old lady?
I think it was exactly as the film was trying to portray, is that she became this way because of the things that were happening.
In the end, you know that it wasn't Thomasine that was doing all this. It was this witch out in the woods. But I believe that after her siblings dying, her twin siblings disappearing, her father turning against her, who had her back for a while.
Her father being disemboweled by Black Phillip.
Whoop, whoop.
Best part of the film.
And then her mother turning and basically trying to kill her by strangling her, and she ended up having to murder her own mother. I feel like she thought in her mind, and she definitely wouldn't be getting into heaven now, despite the fact that it was in self-defense. And she probably thought that God, wasn't around type thing. So, and she's alone. She's alone now. She's banished from the colony because of her stupid father. So what else are you going to do, really? It was either, sit there and starve and die or join this awesome-ass coven.
Right.
I don't blame her.
And if the choice for me comes between being on my knees and being on a broomstick, I'm going to take a broomstick any day. We did a little bit of research on the film for theories on...
Where the twins went.
Yeah, where the twins went and what happened in the end. But we have still yet to find a good reason for why they were banished from the village. And for me, this is the pinnacle thing for the film. I cannot give a justified evaluation of the film without knowing why they were banished. We thought it would be revealed throughout the film, and nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Nada.
Nada de nada.
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 Niente. IMDb gives it a 6.9 out of 10. I am going to go ahead and say probably a 7 out of 10, just because I'm so infuriated that I don't know why they got kicked out or where the twins go, despite me looking up and finding a pretty good explanation of where the twins went. Mm-hmm. You're never really going to know. So...
Yeah, I would also give it a 7 out of 10 just because... But it is so infuriating to not know why they're banished. I cannot even explain how much it angers me to have not found that out throughout the film. 7 perché?
Perché ti lascia dei dubbi. E questo
He gives it 7 out of 10 stars because it leaves all of these doubts.
Non è bello.
High five.
Triplo. No!
Whoa. Okay, guys, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All of that is down below. We have social media. Check out the links down below. All right, stay awesome, stay boozing, and as always, cheers!
Cheers!
Cheese.